I came out to my mom when I was like 14 or 15. I really like to write. It's something that helps me work my thoughts out. So I was writing about kind of my first girl crush, and I must have looked really emo because she came into my room and she was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Nothing," which is weird because I tell her everything. So she was like, "No, we're going to get to the bottom of this." And then it started this kind of back and forth guessing game where she was like, "Is someone being mean to you at school?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Are you stressed about something?" And I was like, "No." And then eventually she said, "Are you lesbian?" And I went, "Kind of." I'm kind of.
Hi, gay. I'm PJ Brescia, they, them pronouns, your host of the BabyGay Podcast and the founder of the BabyGay community, celebrating the coming out process through storytelling, advocacy, and togetherness. I came out later in life and I knew nothing about queer culture. I'm still not an expert, so let's go on a journey of self-discovery together with amazing guests, diverse coming out stories, LGBTQI plus history, and everything in between.
This is the BabyGay Podcast. Coming out looks good on you.
Hey, baby gays, welcome back to the BabyGay Podcast. I'm your host, PJ Brescia, they, them, and today's episode is a very special one. We're partnering with the Point Foundation, the largest LGBTQ plus scholarship fund in the country, and we're podcasting live from the Point Foundation's National Leadership Conference in Los Angeles, California. I'm sitting down with Amy Nam, an incredible Point Foundation scholar who recently graduated from USC and who's heading to Columbia Law School soon. Please enjoy our conversation. Yay! Thank you so much for joining us, Amy.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're very excited. Okay, so let's go to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little bit about Toronto, growing up, childhood, all the good stuff.
Yes. So I grew up in Toronto until I was 18, and I moved to Los Angeles for college. And I know Toronto's a pretty big city, but I spent most of my life in, I would say, a pretty small pocket of Toronto. It was kind of just my home and my high school, which were pretty close together. And my high school was pretty small, and my neighborhood was pretty empty/quiet. So I had a really peaceful time growing up. Not really a big city life, just pretty slow living. And I think now that I'm older, I've been able to appreciate it more. LA's just so high energy and there's so much to do. But I recently went home to Toronto for the summer, and I just loved walking around my neighborhood and seeing all the nature grow and all the houses. So I'm really glad that I have Toronto to call home.
That's amazing. I can totally relate. I grew up in the suburbs of New York City. And also, side note, my dad worked in Toronto for a period of time and was like commuting to Toronto and loves Toronto and like cannot say enough amazing things about it. Were you in the city?
I was living on a very major street, but it was right beside a big suburban neighborhood. So kind of both.
Yeah. But like childhood, I growing up in a suburban area, I just wanted to be in the city. Like that's, I just dreamed of getting out. And then as I've become an adult, going back there, I'm like, wait, this is actually really nice.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't appreciate it until you leave it. But,
Sure.
But it's, that's amazing. So, okay. So then it brought you to LA.
Yes.
So what was that kind of transition like?
It was a huge transition. It was a different country. It was a different coast, different weather. And I was entering college. So all this new independence that I was gaining, honestly, I think it was the perfect mix to come into that adulthood in Los Angeles. There's just so many cultures here and so many diverse people that I always felt at home in Los Angeles. You can always find your people in LA because there's just so many of them. And USC, the college I went to, was great. I met so many amazing people. It was where I really kind of came into my identity. It was really where I learned to love law, which I'm about to study soon. So Los Angeles, I think, was the best thing probably that could have happened to me.
Did you ever expect to live here?
No.
Me neither.
Oh my goodness. I thought I would go to University of Toronto, which is where the majority of the students from my high school went. But it was just, America seemed so exciting and fun to me, just this whole new country to explore. And so when I got into USC, I had to go.
That's amazing. So what about, how can we talk a little bit about your coming out journey?
Yeah. So I first realized I was bi when I was 12. As it commonly goes, I had a really big crush on my close friend. And I tried to, I think, play it off as something I didn't have to think about. I was like, I'll be really chill about this and I'll be super normal, and then this feeling will go away and then I'll never have to think about this again. Perfect. But of course the feeling didn't go away and I had to really kind of confront that part of myself. And I think just growing up in such a small world in Toronto, I could only really see it as a negative thing when I was 12. To me, it felt like kind of a burden to have to come out all the time and have to overcome assumptions about me. And when I overcome them, maybe people won't understand. So then I have to explain myself and defend myself. And I didn't want all of that responsibility, it felt like. And that's why I say Los Angeles was so good for me, because when I came here, there were just so many queer people and they were so open about it and proud about it, and they mentioned it so casually. I'd be talking to like a female friend of mine and she would just casually mention a girl she's talking to or her girlfriend. I'd be like, oh my God, it wasn't this whole serious sit down conversation that I was always led to believe had to happen. And so I'm so glad I came to LA, and here I was just so myself. I never had to come out to someone. It was, again, just so casually treated. So that was a bit of my journey. And then with my parents, I came out to them actually one by one, accidentally for the most part. I came out to my mom when I was like 14 or 15. I really like to write. It's something that helps me work my thoughts out. So I was writing about kind of my first girl crush, and I must have looked really emo because she came into my room and she was like, what happened? And I was like, nothing, which is weird because I tell her everything. So she was like, no, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. And then it started this kind of back and forth guessing game where she was like, is someone being mean to you at school? And I was like, no. She's like, are you stressed about something? And I was like, no. And then eventually she said, are you lesbian? And I went, kind of. I'm kind of. So that's how it happened. And then with my dad, I kind of came out accidentally too, because I was writing again. And I think I mentioned that I was bi somewhere, and I wanted him to proofread the essay before I submitted it because it was for an application. And he read it, and then he looked at me and he went, wait, are you bi? And I was like, totally forgot that was in there. Yes, do you still love me? That was actually exactly what I said. And he was like, yes, of course. So he was great about it too. And then I intentionally came out to my older brother, Matthew, and he was also great about it. He was actually upset I didn't tell him first.
That's incredible. Your family sounds amazing.
They are.
That's really special. So what was that journey like, kind of like coming to terms with it for yourself, you know?
It was a lot of trying not to think about it and then just thinking about it all at once. A lot of just late nights thinking about kind of what my life would look like now that this was a part of myself that I had to accept about myself to be happy. When I came to LA and just saw so many queer people being themselves, it really made me think that I could just be themselves. And so in my first conversations with my friends in college, sometimes I would just mention I was bi really casually, or just like drop it in conversation that I liked a girl, and it was and they didn't blink. It was so normal. And that was it was a small gesture, but it did so much for my confidence and for my trust in these people. And so I really am glad that I came here and was able to really come into myself.
Was there anyone in your life that was kind of a mentor to you throughout that process?
I would say probably not. I mostly turned to media, as a lot of, I think, young queer people do who feel like they can't really go to anyone about this. I turned to a lot of media representations of queer people. There was not a lot 5 to 10 years ago. It's evolved so much so quickly. But I think back then I really gravitated towards queer-coded characters in novels and fiction.
Can you share some that stick out to you?
Yeah, so I really liked Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I liked that book so much because so many queer stories at the time centered around the coming out and how sad it was. And I knew. So I didn't want to just read story after story about something that made me so sad at the time. So I really liked that book because being queer and falling in love is just one of the many plots instead of being like the plot. And so it's so much fun. I describe it to my friends as like a gay wizard book, which it is. It's like fantasy. There's kind of a mystery involved. There's, of course, a love story between two men. It's so much fun. There's like magic involved in the book, and I think the author's really creative about it. So I loved that story. I read it so many times. And actually, when I went back to Toronto, I read it again. And to me, it still holds up. It's great.
I gotta read it.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so then now that brings us to college.
Yes.
And we started learning about policy and law. Like, tell us about that journey.
Yeah, there were so many little influences throughout my life that made me interested in that area. I think the most forefront would be joining my college mock trial team. Mock trial is like you're given a fake case and then you have to simulate trial with that case. And my coaches were all attorneys. They were public defenders and civil rights attorneys, and they really taught me about what it means to represent someone to the fullest. I remember one of my coaches, who is a public defender, talked about what the job meant to him. And he said he's kind of representing people going through the loneliest days of their lives and the worst moments of their lives in the criminal legal system. And he's someone who stands by them no matter what. And that really made me understand criminal defense and just legal representation as giving someone the right to be heard and giving someone their time in court. And that, it just really resonated with me. So I really kind of went down that route of criminal defense, criminal representation, criminal justice, and I'm so glad I did.
That's incredible.
For 25 years, Point Foundation has been investing in LGBTQ+ and ally students, helping build the next generation of leaders. If you're looking for scholarship opportunities, or if you'd like to make a gift to help make those opportunities possible, visit pointfoundation.org. Together, we can shape the future, one student at a time.
Which is leading you to Columbia Law.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Thank you.
What are you most excited about in terms of moving to New York and starting school?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I think I'm really excited to study law, just purely law. I remember talking to an old professor of mine. I was asking, how can I make the most of my time in law school? And she said, really take the time to just savor law. Like, there are so many opportunities in law school to practice law through work experience, but she said, you're going to be practicing law for the rest of your life. There's really never another opportunity to just study the law as a piece of thinking, a piece of philosophy, a piece of problem solving. Law is just so complicated and intricate, and I love just kind of unraveling the puzzle in my head to figure out the solution to a really difficult problem. So I'm excited to just do that all the time in law school.
That's really, really incredible. I'm so excited for you. It's going to be such a special chapter of your life, especially entering New York.
Yes.
What are you most excited about living in New York?
Oh my goodness. I think New York, there's just so much there. The food scene, I've heard, is incredible. I'm very excited. Also, my brother lives in New York. He lives in Brooklyn.
That's amazing.
And so I'm so glad to be closer to him and also closer to my family. They're still in Toronto. New York has great shopping. I love to shop. I'm really going to have to exercise some self-restraint, but I'm really excited to go shopping. And also, Columbia is right by Central Park, I think, and I love walking. It's another very therapeutic activity for me. So I'm just excited to go walking all the time, basically.
Yeah, I'm so being from New York, I love LA. LA is incredible. I think that they kind of complement each other in a way. And something about New York that's so unique is that you can just get lost in New York and have these magical adventures and be in the park and go to Brooklyn. And it's just I'm very excited for you. This is going to be really special.
I'm so excited.
So let's talk about the Point Foundation and how you got here.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So in junior year, I was trying to apply for a scholarship, and so I was just searching up scholarships on the internet, and then Point Foundation just kind of fell into my lap, and I read all about its mission. I had never applied to anything kind of LGBTQ plus focused, but I was kind of ready to do it. I was like, you know what, I'm so proud of myself, I'm gonna try this. And it was a little bit intimidating to apply at first because it is a national scholarship, and I was like, I don't know if I'm kind of what they're looking for. But I went through the application process, I went through rounds. The team was always really supportive when I had questions about the application. And then I remember when I got the email that I'd gotten that scholarship, I was actually studying for the LSAT. So it was touch and go a little bit. So that email just made my day. It made my week. It made me so happy.
That's really, really special. Oh my God. So then kind of what have you learned from this process of working with Point and being a scholar?
I've learned so much. I think most importantly, I've learned about community. Our CEO, George Valencia, gave a keynote address the other day, and he said something that really stuck with me, that for our community, connection isn't a privilege, it's a necessity. And I really have learned that here. I've met just so many people from all these different backgrounds and with so many diverse interests and goals and ways of kind of getting at the same problem. And it's really showed me kind of the strength of our community, the diversity, the joy, the pride. It's made me just so excited to see what everyone does. And I think something that is so special about Point is that they define leadership in so many different ways. You could be a leader by, running a club on campus, or you can be a leader by tutoring your siblings while your parents are at work. I really appreciate that about Point's mission.
Yeah. Is there someone that you've met here that's kind of like your new chosen family that you're going to be on this journey forever with?
Yes. So it was really funny. It was actually fate, I think. So I was checking in to my room at the hotel, and then the girl next to me was my roommate. And I was like, oh my God, hey. And she actually had just graduated undergrad at Columbia. So it was so perfect. Her name's Ava. She was just in the lobby wishing me luck on this interview. And she's so sweet and she's so great. And then her partner actually goes to law school. So she FaceTimed her and we were just talking about law school. So it's so perfect. And she's so sweet. And she's one of so many amazing people I've met here.
I mean, I'm very woo. So like that, to me, the stars are aligned. Like you were meant to.
Red string.
Exactly. What is something that you would say to someone that's, thinking about applying to Point that you wish you knew during that process?
I wish I knew that there's really nothing to lose. It's something I've really had to teach myself over the course of putting myself out there, that there really is nothing to lose. Point really does want to hear your story, and they really think that your interests are worth exploring and that your vision is worth realizing. I think at the time I was like, I don't know if I'm what they're looking for. I don't really have a lot of campus involvement. I more so do things outside of campus, but Point cares about that too. Point really just wants to support every type of person in the community. And so that's what I would tell someone.
That's amazing. What's been your favorite part of this weekend of the conference?
Just meeting people. It's so great. Everyone is so extroverted and welcoming and very outgoing. And it's just so great to be in the lobby with someone and we just see our little lanyard and we're like, I know you. And this space is so special, I think, because even though we're also diverse, we all are unified and kind of our identity rooted to this community, and we understand each other's confusion and uncertainty and marginalization and happiness. And it's so special, I think, to just look across the room and see someone and, they don't know my name yet and I don't know their name yet, but we understand each other already on some kind of core fundamental level. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, you're going to have this bond for life.
Yeah.
And that's, going to George's sentiment, it's like we need our chosen family. It's like you and I are both very lucky. We have families that are welcoming to us in our journey with our identities. And I mean, I know we both don't take that lightly. A lot of people don't have that. And that's why chosen family is so, so important. It's like these people are with you in the good times and the bad, and they can experience those. Being queer is not easy, especially out and proud. And it's just something that where the Point Foundation, a scholarship, you have that extra bond. You're going to law school, you're going to have bonds with those people for life. It's like these different communities really will be with you for the rest of your life. And it's just so special. So I'm so, so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And then what kind of going to kind of your future, what type of leader do you see yourself being in the future?
I think I really want to be someone as an attorney who just goes to bat for her clients. I remember having a client once at the public defender's office who, when we visited his attorney and him in the jail, he just broke down in tears talking about his family. And he said he actually didn't know the last time he cried in front of someone, and it felt good to finally be able to trust people enough. And so that really stuck with me about what it means to represent someone and to trust them and to make them feel like you genuinely trust them and that they can trust you. So I want to be someone who really just fights tooth and nail for her clients.
Is that what the type of law that you're specifically looking to work in?
I'm open to all kinds of law because I just find it all so interesting. But criminal defense has a really special place in my heart. Kind of civil rights representation has another special place in my heart as well. But we'll see.
Yes, and definitely check out. So an organization that we co-founded is called the LA Queer Coalition. And I know you're moving to New York, but if you ever to come back to Los Angeles, it's just been this incredible group of bringing together various leaders in our community at work to uplift the larger collective. And I'm sure there's organizations in New York that that are like that as well. So you can check that out. But
yes, absolutely.
I'm really, really excited for your journey.
Thank you so much.
Can we play a fun little game of like rapid fire questions?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, awesome. Who's your favorite queer artist right now?
I would say, I know this is supposed to be rapid fire.
I'm
sorry.
never rapid fire.
Honestly, I listen to mostly the same artists over and over again. I wouldn't say I have a favorite that I would usually go to. I'm sorry.
Really? Is there anyone that's like, who are you loving right now? Like, who's sticking out to you?
Probably the actors from Young Royals.
Oh, okay.
I'm really into that
Love
show.
That. LA or New York? It's a tough one, I know.
Right now, LA.
Oh, okay. Are a night out or a night in?
Night in.
Yeah, same. Favorite day of the week?
Saturday.
Ooh, how come?
Because I feel like I can just be at home all day and just really reset and spend time with like friends and loved ones.
Favorite way to unplug and recharge?
Journaling, I love it, or going on a walk in nature.
Me too. What's your journaling cadence?
Ooh, it's kind of chaotic. Sometimes I journal at night in the dark, and so I can't see my handwriting. And so when I wake up, it's just like chicken scratch. But I like it because it makes me feel very unfiltered, and I can be really honest when I can't see what I'm writing.
Do you have this, when I'm going to sleep, I'll have these like moments of inspiration and I need to put a journal next to mine because I'm a morning journaler. I need a journal next to me because I'll have this inspiration. I'm like, like, do I get up? Like I'm about to fall asleep. Do I get up and write it down or do I just let it go? I don't know. So that's a dilemma I face all the time, but it's not like you write it down. So I need to take your note. What's a comfort rewatch that you're currently watching?
Sex and the City.
Oh, it's so good.
It's making me excited about New York.
Yes. I watched it for the first time recently and I was kind of blown away how relevant it is still.
Yeah, from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which one of the girls do you think you are?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I definitely was told I was a Charlotte a little bit. And then I just met her recently.
Oh my
which is
gosh.
Very cool. So I guess I'll go with Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Yeah, me too. Dream dinner guest, queer edition.
Probably Freddie Mercury.
Ooh.
He's just too iconic not to.
That's incredible. That's a really good answer. Best concert you've ever been to?
I would say twice. They're a K-pop group, and they came to Toronto on my birthday. It was like meant to be.
I know I'm super basic. So what is that K-pop group that was just like manufactured and really blowing up right now?
Right now? Oh, there's so many. I'd say
Cat's Eye. Yeah.
They're not like fully K-pop, but they're kind of adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really popular.
Yes, they're very popular right now. And then lastly, what would you tell your baby gay self?
Oh. I would tell her that it's not going to be as hard as she thinks, and that one day she'll be able to put herself out there for an LGBTQ plus scholarship and be really happy about it, and attend an LGBTQ plus conference and be really happy about it, and then speak on an LGBTQ plus podcast as well. And I think back then she didn't think that she could be brave enough to do all of this, or just brave in general. And I would tell her that she can be, and she is. And then I'd give her a little kiss on the forehead.
I'm start crying. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Amy. And where can people follow you on social media?
So my Instagram is Amy S. Nam, and then my LinkedIn is just Amy Nam.
And remember, baby gays, coming out looks good on you. Yay! Thank you so much.